Good morning, friends. Finishing up some weeding out here in the garden. I try to do a little bit every morning. And I thought I would talk to you today a little bit about the high tunnel. So it's going to be a short video, but I did want to tell you there are nuances to growing in a high tunnel. So I had a small, 8 by 10, if it was that big, greenhouse at our old house, and I just used it to start my seeds to grow out in the garden. And it was great. I packed so much into that little thing, and my garden wasn't nearly as big as what it is now, so it was perfect. And then I noticed that we had some issues on the ground with it, so we put, it didn't even cost that much. We put some pavers down in the bottom, and that stopped everything from getting squishy and mushy under your feet. You were able to just go in there and work and stand on those pavers, and really didn't have any issues at all with anything as far as growing up in there or whatever. Now here is our high tunnel. So when we came out here, I wanted another little greenhouse, and I started researching them, and I found a much smaller greenhouse. And my husband said, you ought to just go big or go home. So I looked at this one, and I checked all over the internet. I looked at Farm Tech, I looked at Grower Solution, Greenhouse Megastore, and I really liked Greenhouse Megastore. Had the best price, but they also had the PDF on their website of how to put it together. And my husband said, wow, I can probably do that for half of what they want for it. You have to understand, my husband says that about anything I want to buy, which is awesome and frustrating, because a lot of things I don't buy things because he wants to do them for me. And bless his heart, I appreciate his giving spirit, but it goes on a list, and when he gets to it, he gets to it. So this for us was very important. And I'll show you that one fan, the other one's still not installed, and those are actually heat activated. So needless to say, I picked out the style I wanted. We pulled up the PDF and we ordered from Greenhouse Megastore because they did have the best price. We ordered from them all of the things that we didn't know we would need, like wiggle wire and the tracks for the wiggle wire, and we ordered the padding to go between the aluminum and the plastic, and we ordered the plastic from them. So we got it up, got it put together, followed their instructions, and we did build it for about half. The aluminum we used is just what you use to put together a chain link fence. And he made himself a jig with wood. He tried a pipe bender and it really wasn't working for him that well, so he made a jig, and they just did it that way. And really tickled with how it turned out. Now we did put the polycarbonate on the outside of it, and we will probably, when we go to redo it again, we're either going to do a double wall plastic, or we're going to do polycarbonate on the sides and then come down the top with plastic. We'll see. Right now it is a hot mess in here, but I'm not ashamed to show you. It is what it is. Every day you just do what you can do. The fig trees are popping. The beets are ready to go, but I have no kitchen to can in, so we're going to have to let them go for another 2 weeks till we get those cabinets installed. So we ended up, we had those strong winds last year, and the winds and the rain came down so hard that up there, those little squares just filled with water and bent that whole side down. So we deconstructed and we reconstructed, and that's when he put in the additional bracing. And now the next thing that'll have to happen out here would be the plastic, replacing the plastic. So after the first year, and we came out of here with our vegetables already cooked, because even with the doors open and the big fan that I have that I bring out here, it gets hot. So we ordered this 40% shade cloth. And what we did was we just bungee strapped them, or not bungee strapped them, you know, cable tied them together. And it is a little bigger. And then what we did, because we didn't do the roll-up sides. We didn't want to mess with the roll-up sides, and that was just a matter of personal preference. Now, he did put concrete board down there at the bottom, which I did not want, but he swore it would keep the animals out. And as you can see, it does not. But it is what it is, you know. It's they've actually pushed that one out completely so that they can get in and out. And what I've done here is we wrap up the bottom, and then we have, see those little hooks? At the end of the season, when we roll it back under, we bungee strap it again, or cable tie it again, and use those hooks to hold it up against there so that we can keep it a little tidier. But definitely you would need a shade cloth. Now, do you need it to come all the way down? No. But my husband wanted me to do it that way. Actually, the reason is we ordered two. We decided to go ahead and use them both because eventually we wanted to put in another one just like this for aquaponics. And I want to say within the next 5 years we will be doing aquaponics, but not right now. So one of the things that you don't realize when you have a high tunnel, here's the birds, is that one is always a minimum 10 degrees warmer in here than it is outside. Now, in the hot blazing summer without this shade cloth, it can get screechingly hot. You can't even stand to walk through it. It gets so hot. So you definitely have to have shade cloth. But you have to be careful what you're planting in here. If you're planting in here in the summer, you're going to have to leave those doors open or put in some kind of like a screen door with bigger holes in it so that you can let pollinators in. Because a lot of those things like your tomatoes and your squash, they've got to be pollinated. Unless you want to come out here and hand pollinate everything, that's something that you need to consider. I do like the shelves we put up, and I will show you here. They need to have good drainage. One of the things with using the tables, and this was, I just had these. See how you get all the tables will hold water. So these, which there's nothing up there that's any good now. Everything there is just baked. Those are leftovers. All we did was just put some mesh up there so that we had good drainage. And they're, he measured, and they are exactly wide enough for a flat. And I can get 5 in a space. And he's offered to give me more, but right now I'm happy with what I've got. Because this used to be a tidy little area where I keep fish fertilizer. There's my extra fan. I keep my ceramic pots down here. I keep my plastic pots down on the other end. Look at this cauliflower. There's my beets that are growing in here that need to go. And then another thing I do, well, since we're in here and we're talking, is the leftover dirt from any plants that didn't germinate, rather than throw it away, I use it as a fill in the bottom of a bed before I amend it. Because we'll be planting in there soon. Look at this feverfew. Isn't it beautiful? So yesterday I taught my granddaughter how to tell the difference between daisies, chamomile, and feverfew. She was all proud and running around and telling everybody. We did have a tragedy out there yesterday. I don't know. I think deer knocked some of our blackberries down or something. So anyway, another consideration that you need to have is being able to let those pollinators in. Another thing that we did was we put in water. You've got to be able to water. And while we're going to be installing the water for the chicken barn off of the metal roof for it, the water catchment, you still are going to need water in here when that water is not available. Either, you know, winter if it freezes or whatever the case may be. So we did put water, and then we have a splitter. One hose goes out to the garden and one hose is for in here. And then we put electric in. You're going to need electric to run the fans. And in the winter, we have a heater. The propane heater that we run has to have electric. So, and then the other thing is he put in lights for me. And I got to bring you out here sometime at night and show you. I've got solar lights that I have out in the garden. And then I have these guys. And it just looks like a fairy tale out here. So there's the propane. And those things are heavy. You know, I should probably do a video on how we age on the homestead, because my husband is significantly older than I am. He's about 15 years older than I am, and he's getting slower. And he is not as helpful as he would like to be, or as he used to be. And it's no fault of his own. His body is just not able to do the things it used to be. So as we come up with new things that we're doing around here, I also have to bear in mind, how can I make it so that I can do this myself and not bother him? And, you know, same thing the other way. What happens if one of you is, you know, has surgery or whatever the case may be and isn't able to help? So here is the way that this system is held down. And all we did was put eye bolts in, and then these little things. Now I had a bunch of free ones, which helped us with the cost of that. But they come with, you can buy it with the rivets already in it. And we just strap it down all the way over there and pull it kind of taut. And that's that. Another thing that we buy this shade cloth for is the chicken run. So I should show you that real quick while we're out here. Friends, I don't know what to tell you I'm going to do with this. So this is hops. There's a pampas grass in there, and now there's some kind of tree with these. Looky there. Look what it is. Still got to go. So this is Fort Knox. This is the outside of it. And I can't believe there's actually anything growing in here. So this and this. So this hardware cloth goes down into the ground about 18 inches or maybe even 2 feet. And that's to keep anything like a fox or coyote from digging under it. And then we have the chicken wire on the outside. And then if you look up at the top, we use the same aluminum that we used on the high tunnel, and we put it across the top to keep hawks out. And you can see some dents in there. I think we actually had a raccoon try to crawl up there, and we actually saw a hawk dive bomb it once. So, and then we have these doors. So that door is just a dog door. That was actually one of the doors off of our house. I think it was off of the garage. And when we replaced it, we brought it out here, and we just use it to let the chickens in and out. And then we have, oh, you can't see that one. Let's see. We have another one right there. Is it going to focus for you? Nope, not because of that fence. So we've got another one there, and that's the broody area. So we've got the smaller chicks are in there right now. We have one on the back side of the barn, and then we have the big screen door over on this side of the barn. Chickies, say hello, ladies. By doing it this way, we're able to either let the chickens out the big door and just let them have their way with this area, or we can in the winter time sometimes, or if we're cleaning or whatever, we'll just open this door, but we'll put that shade cloth over the top of that. And then we're able to use this little door and then we're able to use the one out the back over by where the compost is, or we can use, there's another little door on exactly the opposite side of the barn from where you're looking right now, so we can let them out that way. We used to have a little run that they could go out into the garden, and they really weren't that helpful, and it was more harm than good. So there's our one and only big guy rooster, and one of our new ones. His name is Caesar too. He says good morning. Chicky. Let's see, where's Liz? I don't see Liz. There's nothing like that sound in the morning, friends. Nothing like it at all. So that's how we did the Fort Knox part of our chicken barn. And that's the other place that we use the shade cloth. I won't kill you with all of the... Do you hear the neighbor's rooster crowing back? Look at the potatoes out there. That's just another... just a few tips on a high tunnel. Never underestimate the temperature inside. Even in the winter, it's going to be warmer in there. And even on cloudy days, you don't think you have to come out and water. And guess what? You can lose everything just in an instant, because it does still get warm in there. And I love it. You know, another thing that you have to remember is that in the winter, where are those chipmunks and mice going to keep warm at? Yep, they love a good high tunnel. So that's it for this morning. Sorry to ramble on. I didn't mean to talk so much. Yeah, there's what happened. 2 blackberries gone. I don't know. Juno. So until next time, friends, be blessed, be a blessing, give thanks.